Hi, I'm Sam Tardio, and I'm campaigning for a seat on the Sedona City Council. I believe this city is at a crossroads. Are we going to keep going breakneck speed, creating Sedona the mini metropolis, or take a hard turn here to preserve just a little charm of Sedona to make it a better place to live and visit? When we bought our home here in 1995, Sedona had quaintness to it, with a distinct Western persona. It was the perfect fit for my wife and I. It had a feeling of comfort that radiated peace and tranquility, and since then I believe this city has steadily regressed. Our development has been mediocre, our goal has been expansion, the design and appeal has been so benign you could drop this city in any state across the country. I love Sedona, but it has definitely lost that comfort and distinctive persona. Was that the vision of the city planners? Was it their aspiration to strip the city of its unique appeal, to embrace this path of commercialism where we were sleeping when outside developers came in to make Sedona as they pleased? Sedona sits in the middle of nature's amazing garden, and we're so fixated on turning a profit that we can't see we're killing the flower and nurturing a weed. This isn't progress, it's change for the sake of profitable expansion, without regard to the people, history, or the soul of the city. There's a difference between change and progress. Progress doesn't diminish the things you love, it enhances it. Now, in light of our traffic problems, this probably sounds immaterial, but for my wife and I, it's just one more thing we've lost in the quest to make Sedona a destination city. Maybe we can't go back, but I think it's a serious mistake for us to continue following the present agenda. Sure, tourism is our bread and butter, but it shouldn't be about how many tourists we can stuff in here in as many days throughout the year as possible. We're fortunate to live in this paradise, but reckless change is diminishing our lifestyle, stripping away the appeal for residents as well as our visitors. Yeah, people say that change is inevitable, and if you don't embrace it and move forward, that you'll become stagnant and struggle or survive. But we're not a business. We're people with dreams and aspirations. We weren't struggling before this unmanageable explosion of tourism was forced upon us. There's a limit, and I think we've surpassed it. We're getting exactly what the City Council and the Chamber wanted: to increase our tourism to make more profit. The Chamber is the driving force behind the tourist wave flooding Sedona, and if we stay our course, it will get worse every year. We need to recognize that the Chamber's motivation is about creating profit, nothing else, and that the City Council encourages it and keeps providing the means to accomplish it without regard to the consequences. Now recently, and I believe only to save face, the Chamber magnanimously stated the following: this year we won't take all the money promised to us. We're going to hit the pause button and take 11% less and not advertise within Arizona to make a small dent in our traffic congestion. So we've decided to only take $2 million. $2 million. There's the rub. It isn't just that they've been getting this money. They believe they're entitled to millions of dollars every year. They're pushing the pause button only because they hear the grumbling. This is a small city of 10,000 people, and we're giving away $2 million unchecked, unaccountable tax dollars to a private organization whose motive is profit for their members and, oh yes, supposed tax dollars for the city. But here's something that is very interesting. Approximately 70% of their members are located outside the taxable border of Sedona. Their visitor center will recommend a member business outside the city limits rather than a business within the city that isn't a member. That's not representing the best interest of the city. That's representing the best interest of their organization. Hey, we got to wake up. This isn't a branch of our city government. It's a private membership organization. So naturally, their allegiance is to the well-being of their members, not the city. And don't let anyone fool you. This has nothing to do with raising tax dollars. With only 30% of their members inside the city, the amount of traffic that would be needed to replace 2 million tax dollars is unattainable. Why is this deemed acceptable here in Sedona when other Arizona cities give 0 to maybe 1 or 1.5% of what we give to the Chamber of Commerce? Sedona, among thousands of other small towns, is in the minority in just giving money to the Chamber at all, but the amount it gives is beyond absurdity. We've talked to administrators in other cities, and they're astounded at the amount we give. They're either stunned or respond with, "What?" It's not the responsibility of the taxpayer to support any private enterprise. I've been a business owner most of my life, and never once has any branch of government offered me free money. It's the responsibility of every business, including this chamber, to support its own organization. Yet this council has gifted more than $8.6 million to the chamber. Now that's amazing, but what's mind-boggling is that the $8.6 million is only $200,000 less than the $8.8 million given to the chamber for all the years combined since 1999. Why so much? Is this isolated? I don't know. For many Sedona citizens, the awareness of this ridiculous gifting of city money has gone unnoticed and only came to light because our traffic fiasco put a strong focus on it. So how long and how many other outstretched arms with their hands open are standing in this gift line that we don't even know about? Don't you think this tax money could have been put to better use for the citizens? I do. Amazingly, this dilemma has another downside. The city council, the same city council that has grossly contributed to our traffic problem, thinks the best way to remedy it is by building parking lots and new roads through our neighborhoods. Somehow they think it makes sense to take on millions of dollars more of debt to abate a problem they co-created, which they could easily uncreate. But no, you see, this is about their desire for infinite growth, so it's to hell with the will of the people. Their thinking is chaotically driven by their own self-subservient position to the Chamber of Commerce. If we already have a $10 million deficit, the only way to pay for new roads and parking lots is by sustaining, or as they wish, increasing tourism. This is like the dog chasing its tail. Now, what's really sad is this: the council truly believes it's fair to forever diminish the quality of life and lower the property values of the people in the path of these new roads as a trade-off to relieve our seasonal heavy traffic, just so some people can save 5 to 10 or 15 minutes of travel time. In the last 25 years, the people have paid for 19 traffic studies, the last one at a cost of $250,000. Now why? Our topography hasn't changed. We only have 2 roads, so other than the outside of the city, the only place to expand is in our neighborhoods. Now put yourself in the position of those residents. Would you want that road at your front door so I could get home quicker? The council and the chamber created this problem. Their solution is to penalize the residents. Why not just roll the tourism back to before they created this monster? Think of the anger, the anguish, and the sorrow, and multiple millions of dollars to be saved if we just stopped encouraging the infinite growth of Sedona. Unfortunately, like most problems in the world, it boils down to money, and the people pushing the buttons are greedy. They have a plan that doesn't include our comfort. In fact, they expect us to give up what's left of our peace and tranquility and to change our lifestyle so we accommodate their dream, the profitable mini metropolis of Sedona. Now, I have no malice toward any of these council members. This isn't a personal attack. I'm sure they're all good people and would probably make great friends, but this is about what's best for the city and its residents. This is about their philosophy and their choices. We're not suffering from unintended consequences. They've made their intention perfectly clear, and if they're given the chance to stay in office, they'll continue feeding their special interest groups and pursue their dream of Sedona, the mini metropolis with flashing bright lights. If you tell them in this election that it's okay to continue with their agenda, it'll be open season, and our downward spiral will just resume. Well, not just resume, it will escalate like never before. And just like the chamber, if they backpedal now, it's only because they're finally beginning to hear, well, actually, they're finally beginning to pay attention to the anger of the people, only because they want to save their jobs. In my opinion, they've betrayed what we expected of them to govern in our best interest. Instead, they gave their support and our money to create this disaster, and sadly, I wouldn't be surprised if it's just the tip of the iceberg. It's time the voters retire the council members, and it's time the Chamber of Commerce steps back as believing it's the paid captain of this ship. One more thing, and I say this not as a candidate, but as a longtime citizen. We have an opportunity here. We need to push the reset button and vote no on home rule. As a counselor, my commitment would be the same whether it's home rule or not. My fear is that home rule passes and the incumbents stay. Don't listen to the scare tactics. It's about protecting their own interests. And please get out and vote, because no matter the passion and anger you and others hold, every election is determined solely by those who show up. Your vote will make a difference. If you want to know more about me, go to www.samtardio4cc.com. Thank you.